You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the ball is going to
Okay, we're here at game number 2. White Raw. We're using the ID Tuckload Raw.
One of his sponsors.
His sponsors. Against our other Ukrainian player, Strelok. We're deep here in the tournament. Strelok had a disappointing game in game number 1. White Raw had good defense, was very deceptive. And I think the final battle was really sort of the big symbol of what went wrong in game 1. He ran in there. He didn't have the contingency plan. And he ended up losing. So from Strelok, we're going to have to see a different game and a better game at that if he's going to come out here and defeat a player as good as White Rock.
You know, everything went wrong for Strelok that last game. I don't think that is very indicative of his play. So we should be seeing a better game here on Crossfire SE. I know Crossfire Taste is one of your favorite board games as a child.
Yes, I was a professional Crossfire player before. Hungry Hippos.
Did you have
Stole my
those
heart.
cool leather gloves?
I did. How do you can play without it, man? You want to get yourself hurt? What are you doing, dude? You have any other foolish things you want to say on air, Tosis? Now's your chance.
I'm sorry, I messed up. I dropped the ball, Tasis.
Now, if you are unfamiliar with our Tosis and myself, we are professional StarCraft commentators based in Seoul, Korea. We commentate the GSL. If you ever want to see more of us, check us out at gomtv.net.
That's right. And follow us on Twitter. I'm Artosis. He is Call Me Tasteless. And follow IGN Pro League. Because guess what? They're going to keep updating you to some awesome games. And of course, Tasteless and I will as well. That's what we do, man. We are StarCraft guys. We love it.
We love StarCraft. I love my life. Now here comes
I love my life, and I love your life, and I love StarCraft.
And I love all my little nerds at home watching.
Yeah.
Now here comes the probe from White Raw. He is the first to scout here.
Yeah, he'll probably check to see if there's any gases taken.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now,
Probably won't kill that SUV, though.
Probably not. Now,
One never gets old.
no, it doesn't. Now we have the cybernetic score up and on the way here for White Raw. Again, it's a one-on-one map. This map, if you notice, it's very narrow and tall.
Yeah.
So it's a map that you want to be very careful on because it's hard to sneak around your opponent, even though there's so many back doors. You know, 1 or 2 well-placed observers or a scouting SCV or a good scan even, and your position can be given away. It's also a map where you want to be very careful to not, for instance, let the Terran or the Protoss, with Terran in this case with a Siege Tank, Protoss with a Colossus, get onto that high ground location outside of your natural expansion.
You know, this is actually a map that a lot of Terrans choose to go Siege Tank Marine on.
Yeah.
It seems like that is the one build that we see almost every pro game, a timing push with Siege Tank Marine either before or after Exfil, sometimes with Banshee, sometimes with not, but you basically try to take the high ground and bunker push into the natural. Of course, against that, Protoss kind of on this map kind of has to go Colossus. Charge Zealots aren't always going to be out in time, and there's not a lot of surface area in the right locations. So I would not be surprised if this game actually does boil down to that, as it has just been so popular on this map so far.
We're going to see as time passes here. White Raw obviously going to be feeling pretty confident after that first game. Getting 3 gateways up now and chrono boosting out Warp Gate, so he'll have a lot of Tier 1 units, Stalkers, Zealots, Sentries, early on here. Meanwhile, over here in our Terran player's base, it looks like he's got a few Marines, about to have 2 Marauders, and a Hellion here.
Interesting unit composition here.
Yeah, very.
He's getting the concussive shells. Looks like he definitely wants to put on some sort of early pressure, making another Hellion now. First one going out to see what he can see. And the 3-gate of White Raw will actually be suited perfectly to deal with this rush.
Yeah, it looks like it. Here the Hellion is now controlling the Zelnaga Watchtower. And here you can see the rest of Strelok's army is moving forward.
There is a Nexus on the way, and Strelok is moving up the map while making a starport, so it looks like he really wants to get some aggression going. Will that be for Banshees? Will that be for a medevac? Not too sure, except I'm pretty sure it's not for a Viking.
No, it's not for a Viking. I'm afraid not, Artosis. We are going to have to wait and see. There's a lot of different things he can do with this. Looks like he wants to try to run up the ramp. No, he does not. backs up with the Hellion.
Look at this. Ooh, blocking that from running away. Beautiful micro move there by Strelok. Slows down the Stalker and kills it off. Makes the Nexus cancel. So this has been a pretty successful rush so far.
Yeah, very successful. He's in control of what White Raw has to do now. White Raw already had to cancel. That's a lot of minerals lost. And yeah, I mean, Strelok's off to a good start. He's looking much better than he did in the previous game.
Yeah, the Cloak and Banshee on the way, a Robe on the way for White Raw though, so he should be pretty ready for that, and that's a big investment from Strelok to actually go for a Cloak Banshee while he is expanding. So even though White Raw had to cancel that Nexus down, just stopping a Cloaked Banshee dead in its tracks is pretty valuable.
It's an interesting move to go for the Cloak Banshee. I think what he expects White Raw to do is to try to shove his way back out, get more gateways, push his opponent out, and eventually get the Nexus. In which case, a Banshee would catch White Raw off guard and probably kill every single one of his probes, resulting in checkmate, or as we normally say, GG.
Indeed, tasteless. Second bunker on the way. He has an Immortal out, and I like that Immortal actually quite a bit. Immortal's so good at breaking bunkers at the bottom of the ramp. They do tons of damage. Also, of course, to the Marauder unit as well. And the Banshee, here it comes, tasteless.
We got a Banshee in here. It's not really managed to do too much. 0 kills still, now up to 1.
Cloak not quite done. In fact, it looks like he canceled Cloak, so that's actually, I approve of that. He is making a Raven, though, and that Raven with point defense drone could be very problematic for the Stalkers of White Raw.
Yeah, you got that right, Artosis. This situation is just not good here. For him right now, this is getting a little bit sticky. Nobody's really safe having expansion up right now. Occasionally we get to these one-base races that you see in StarCraft 1 and 2, where it's like, well, one of us should expand, but if I do that, I could be in some trouble. All right, here we go. Warp Prism coming out. Now, this is smart because Strelok is containing his opponent, so that means he will not have defending units at home.
Yeah, he might not have too many, and if you can kill off a good number of SCVs, that's going to be quite nice. In the meantime, expanding behind the harass, a beautiful move, the basics of RTS by White Raw, and looks like he wants to take as many SCVs as he can, attacking into the Zealots. I really feel like he should actually run away with those SCVs. The Marines are more than enough to actually clean these up with some decent micro, and Strelok actually ends up losing more SCVs than I really feel he should have there. He's down to 21 against 29 probes. Yeah,
that's a pretty big difference. I think you're totally right. He did not need to attack that with SCVs. That's a StarCraft 1 instinctive move, where you're basically going to use those workers, because in StarCraft 1, the attacking unit's AI prioritized the attacking unit first, besides an SCV. Now it'll take whatever attacking unit is closer.
There you go.
There you go, man.
Himself said it, so it must be true. 3 more Zealots being warped in. Thermal Lance just about done. That's going to allow him to punch out of those bunkers very, very simply. I mean, yeah, look at this. Ready? Watch.
Wait for it. Here we are.
And those are going to have to unload and run away. I mean, there's no reason to keep up any longer. They contained him long enough. Strelok should feel pretty fine overall. He lost a few SCVs, but other than that, he's done a good job this game. Ooh, I like that. He's actually, he has some units up on the high ground so that his opponent can't run away.
Yeah, this is pretty smart. This trap is going to change everything for Strelok. Strelok's suddenly like, oh, wait a minute.
He thought he could get away with those Marauders and just have 2 more Marauders. No, man, not going to happen. Well, maybe 1 more unless that Stalker chases him down, but trying to salvage that bunker away, and down will go this Marauder, not doing any real damage to the Stalker. And White Raw, he has his expand up and mining before Strelok.
You know what? Right now, Strelok, he had somewhat of an advantage early on, but he wasn't able to capitalize on it. He should have known that White Raw would take the upper left location. It's the most obvious move that you could do. And now we see, here we see White Raw now moving out southward, and it's almost like 2 passing ships in the night, man.
Yeah, oh no! He gets caught with that siege tank, a very important unit right now. And that is a scary army against so many Marines, and what is... well, not the greatest force fields, but still, the army of White Raw is actually vastly superior. He's up 20 supply, and this is mostly just Marines. Stim just finishing now. Look at this, walking in the natural. This is going to force Strelok to turn around. No way he can do a base trade with this weird little army. Walking right past that, and he gets that force
Nice.
field up.
One little force field, that's all it takes. That's going to slow down the Terran from coming back in there. And of course, there's also more of the force field again on the ramp inside where the Terran's base is. Terran finally, the force field is gone. He can actually do something about this.
And that he will. He has some Marines around the map. The Banshee's still just kind of sitting there, not doing anything. And there you go, the force field up there. In fact, using the Warp Prism to warp in more units. Beautiful move by White-Raw, the king of Warp Prisms. And Strelok is just looking pretty dead, man. I know he cannot really kill this off. This is too many units in his base.
Yeah, and with his production facilities surrounded, even though a drop over here is occurring in White-Raw's base, it's not that impactful, it's not that important because at the end of the day, White-Raw's production facilities are not under threat, unlike Strelok. So he can continue to make units. He still has a main base, yada, yada, yada. He's in good shape.
Well, finally the Banshee does come back down, and certainly it will start to get quite a few kills. This Nexus may, in fact, fall, but White-Raw's in complete control. With Strelok barely mining just with mules at this point, 32 supply. Look at that unit count, just absolutely nothing compared to the might of a couple Colossus and 9 Stalkers with Immortal.
Beautiful. Well, this is getting worse and worse and worse here. And now you can see that White-Raw's even managed to salvage his expansion. I think there's actually no way physically possible for our Terran player to win. And I'm sure right now he's just digesting this loss, going over what exactly happened in this game. What can he do better next time? And that should be GG any moment now.
Yeah, man. Nice little Immortal drop there. Going to kill off the last units of Strelok, and he's going to realize, uh-oh, in this best of 5, I'm down 0-2. GG, and shortly, Tasteless, on to game number 3. Can Strelok come back, or will White-Raw close it out?